Hello and welcome to the week 3 review for understanding language. There are over 7,000 of you signed up to the course now, and over 2,000 of you have posted a total of 15,000 comments. Amazing level of participation. It's great to see. It obviously means that we can't keep up with all of it. We can't read every comment. We do our best, but I can only apologise if some of you feel that sometimes your contributions are overlooked. What I have done this week is tried to pick out some of the most popular threads and some discussions that particularly interest me to comment on in the review video. If I've got it wrong, if you think there are more interesting points, write your own reviews, summaries on this page. Why not? So this week's been all about using technology in teaching and learning languages and teaching and learning languages online. Step 3.2 I'm going to start on. Step 3.2 is all about the differences between online and face-to-face learning. And there are two pinned threads. So you'll see the pinned threads are the ones that one of the mentors has identified as interesting and pinned to the top of the list of comments on the particular step. So if you look on step 3.2, there are two pinned threads which highlight the many different forms of online learning. And I think as technology advances and as new ways of using established technologies are invented, we see an increasing number of different possibilities for learning online. So that raises the question, is it even sensible to talk about differences between online and offline learning, or online and face-to-face learning? I'm not sure that we can even generalise like that, because there are so many different ways that you can learn online. So perhaps we should be considering the affordances and the limitations of particular platforms or particular arrangements for online learning, rather than discussing online learning as a thing, as if there's only one way to learn online. In a related thread on step 3.4, SA suggests that online learning isn't always about learning in a new way as such. It's often about doing the same old things, just using a different medium. And that perhaps the main difference is an increase in opportunities to access a variety of different learning activities. So that's an interesting perspective on it as well. Some of the discussions have been more specifically about this course, rather than online learning in general or other forms of online learning. And that's obviously really interesting to me, because I'm involved in the delivery of this course and want to do my job as best I can. So my face-to-face teaching experience has mainly been with adults rather than children. And as such, I've always wanted to create a good rapport in the classroom and a kind of open and honest atmosphere in which they feel encouraged to give me their views, give me their feedback, and help to shape the learning that goes on. So it's really, really nice for me to see you guys sharing your ideas for how we could make this course work better. In step 3.5, Tatiana wonders whether she's really learning anything here, or how you know whether you're really learning, because we don't have any form of assessment in this course. Some MOOCs have things like multiple choice quizzes, some people have mentioned, but I think that the content, to be able to design a true false or multiple choice quiz, you need content that is right or wrong, and this course is very much about what works in your context. There are not so many definite rights or wrongs, so I don't think we could do that. So how do you really know if you're learning? Some people have suggested self-assessment or peer assessment. In the same pinned thread on step 3.5, Josh suggests creating a portfolio or writing blog posts, and I have seen a couple of people say that they intend to do so. Writing your own summary of what you've learned each week could help you prove to yourself that you've learnt something. I noticed Prieni has done this below Josh's video summary of week 2 in step 2.4. There's a nice little short summary of key points. But however or wherever you do it, whether it's going to be a blog or just something you keep in a notebook, I think the process of thinking about, reflecting on and writing down the new ideas you've come across is could be quite an effective way of proving to yourself that you've learned something, if you feel you need to. Others have said just putting new ideas into practice shows that you've learned something. So maybe not everybody feels the need to write something or to have any specific kind of assessment. Bushra sees both disadvantages and advantages of not having assessment. The potential advantage being that you're forced to become a more autonomous learner. So as adults, maybe, as Bright says, it's our responsibility to make sure that we're learning. So plenty of food for thought in those threads, both for course authors in the long term about how we might create better MOOCs, and for participants in deciding how to get the best out of this course. As for the educators and mentors, the people involved in the delivery of the course, well, on step 3.2, Mkhulisi started a thread about the importance of contact and mentor interaction, and several of you have said that you appreciate our comments and our review videos, which is good to know. And there's another pinned thread on step 3.7 about what we should be doing, or what else we could do, or what we could do differently to motivate and engage you all. Valerie and Natalia both think that humour is important, and some people also like it when they can get a glimpse into the lives of the teachers in the videos or behind the comments, and when teachers share anecdotes from their own experiences, or as Daria put it, funny stories about their own failures. That made me laugh. But I do agree that my most memorable experiences as a language learner in the past have been from when teachers were funny and humorous, or when they were, as some of you have said, more human, because they've let down that professional facade a little bit and let us know a little bit more about their personalities and their lives. And I guess that doesn't happen so much in a course like this. So that's something that some people are missing. Most of our interaction with you, apart from a very small number of review videos and the pre-recorded videos from the academics, most of our interaction with you is in writing, is in the comments rather than in speech. And maybe I think that perhaps makes me especially reluctant to use humour too much in case it's misunderstood. So yeah, lots to think about though. Thank you for your input on that. There's a pinned thread, sorry, my voice is going. There's a pinned thread on step 3.9 about connectivism, chaos and creativity. I just wanted to mention that one really because if anyone's interested in following up the concept of connectivism and things like personal learning networks, which are mentioned in that thread, I've shared a link in that thread to another Futurelearn course which is starting soon. It's a very short one, just 2 weeks long, and it's called Learning in the Network Age. It's not about language learning specifically, but it is about learning with the internet. And you may be interested. There's a nice feature where you can actually try to map your personal learning network. And it also touches on digital inequalities, which is something that I'm very interested in, and which I think some of you might be, because I've seen in some of the comments hints that digital inequalities are affecting the participants on this course. Bright is in Ghana and can't always get a good internet connection. There are a number of people in China who may not always be able to access the videos. When we host videos on YouTube, I think that's not accessible in all countries. And when we held a live chat on Facebook, some of you raised issues such as it being held at an unsuitable time, or not wanting to go outside of the Futurelearn platform and not wanting to sign up for a social media account just to join in. So they're interesting issues which impact on you in this course, but also may impact on your learners if you're teaching online, or if you're including any use of the internet as part of a sort of blended learning approach, or asking your learners to do any activities on the internet at home. My kids often get homework from school. The schools often ask them to do homework online, and I think even in a country like the UK, where I am, where 90-something% of people are online, I think there are differences in people's access to the internet that can make that difficult for some kids. So that sort of thing is explored in Learning in the Network Age. So a little plug there for another course that I have had some involvement with. If anyone's interested, that the link to that's on the pinned thread in step 3.9. So finally, or almost finally, if you haven't seen it, there's a great list of links to online resources for language teachers and language learners. Many of them are free resources in the pinned thread on step 3.10. So just to highlight that, if you haven't looked at it yet, there's loads of ideas for tools that you can use, either yourself as a learner or with your learners. So if this week has given you some motivation to use technology more and to try out new things, then have a look and see if there's anything that sounds useful there. And yeah, let us know how you get on with it in the comments or in your blogs that you're going to set up, your reflective journals. Let us know how you're getting on. So my voice just about held out. That's all from me this week. Week 4 is coming up. Week 4 is probably my favourite week. It's all about global English. It's another one with not many right or wrong answers, but plenty of controversial ideas for discussion to get you all arguing. So I'm really looking forward to interacting with you all for one more week on understanding language. Thanks for your participation so far. Keep it up, and thanks for watching.